Welcome to the Unstoppable Pursuit Podcast, where we're pushing the limits of business, life, and health. It's episode 41. Work hard, play hard, live healthy, die happy. I'm Brian Benson, and next to me, well, he's the only guy I know that will go to a Mexican restaurant, eat all the chips and salsa, order a water with lemon, and leave without spending a dime. It's Mike Stull. And guess what? He wrote a book called Dominate Your Day, and today, he's going to dominate your faces with a little excerpt out of it. I had to read you that first one. I knew I was going to screw that up. I've been off all day today, man.
You killed it on the second one, though. You can do anything you set your mind to. It's not all about talent. It's not about having all the resources. You don't even have to be the smartest person in the room. What you do need is a passionate belief that you can do it and a work ethic to match the size of your dreams. It's not always the most talented individuals who get ahead, but it's the ones who are truly willing to work for it with every drop of blood, sweat, and tear they have. And the quote at the bottom by Henry Ford is, "Vision without execution is just hallucination."
Oh,
which I like that one because we talk about execution all the time on the show.
All about that execution, baby. All about it. All right, today we're talking about health. I mean, this is something that, Mike and I preached. We actually had a previous episode on health is wealth, and, really, you can have a lot of wealth, but it's really enjoy your wealth. Because you can have a ton, but if you're not healthy, then, you could be Jeff Bezos worth $81 billion and be unhealthy, and it wouldn't mean a thing. So we want you to enjoy your wealth, enjoy your success, enjoy your family and your friends as much as possible. It is so important that you take care of your body physically, mentally, spiritually, and that's why Mike also wrote this book. You should check it out if you haven't.
So we actually kind of already hit the first topic of choice, which was the importance of your health, especially to an entrepreneur. And we're starting off with that because we have talked about it a little bit in the past. But, I guess the important things in our life, we set aside time for that, which means that it's a priority. So if you're setting aside time to work hard at your career and furthering your entrepreneurship journey, then the health should be given like 30 minutes to an hour every single day too. So which goes into my second point is, when did we realize just how important our health was? And so I asked you, Brian, can you remember a specific time, say over the past couple of years, that it kind of hit you just how important your health was? Was it a specific incident? Was it something good? Was it something bad that it just happened over, kind of randomly? What was it where you were like, holy shit, I should probably start taking better care of my health? Now I'm kind of setting Brian up on this because I already know what he's going to say. But what was that? What was that defining moment for you?
I think there was a couple defining moments, really, and so, but one of the big ones for me personally, I was in a relationship before my wife, which was it got kind of toxic toward the end, and I was really not taking care of myself, and I kind of forgot that if you don't take care of yourself, you're not only just hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody around you. So I was partying and drinking a lot, and so what really happened was my buddy invited me to be in his wedding, and he said, you got to go to H&M. And dude, H&M, I swear to God, they just don't make clothes that fit fat people. I'm sorry, and I was fat. So I went there, I got the suit, I went home, I went to try it on, and literally, when you get the V, you can't close your pants? Dude, I couldn't even close them. I was like, oh my God, how am I even gonna wear this thing? I went and gotten taken out. Dude, didn't even fit me still, bro. It was really
double whammy.
Oh, dude, it was really embarrassing. But I also realized, wow, I'm not only overweight, but just walking to the store, I was out of breath. It was really bad. And so that was a really defining moment for me where I was like, dude, I need to start taking care of myself. I got to get in shape. I got to look better. I'm newly single. I'm ready to mingle. I really got to get my shit together or else it's just going to be embarrassing. And the other one, are you thinking about the EKG moment? Yeah. This is really the second defining moment because that was probably 4 years ago. And then now more recently, as I got into my entrepreneurial journey and this is just a quick story, but
Pay attention to this one.
I just started really I just got so deep into what I was doing in my work and my business and hustling so hard that I stopped really taking care of how I'm eating and what I'm consuming. And I literally woke up like 3 days in a row with I don't know if it was stress, mental stress, and just not taking care of myself. Like, I kind of slowed down on the working out and everything. Literally, my heart felt like it was going to beat out of my chest, and I had to go get an EKG because, like, I thought, oh my God, like, this is it for me. Like, I'm 29 years old, I'm done. Like,
yeah.
Because I don't know if it was, like I said, stress or just terrible food choices, because hey, at the time I'm working really hard, might as well just stuff my pie hole with a bunch of Cheez-Its and ice cream and whatever I could just get that's easy
and quick.
Fast food, whatever. So, and I think my heart was just like, dude, you gotta work out. So those were my defining moments. That's my aha moment was like, I better take care of myself, not only for me but for everybody around me.
And that's how you know it's really serious too, is when you honestly at 29 years old have to get an EKG because of chest pain. Probably a combination of a lot of different things like the eating and stuff, and maybe not as consistent exercising, but also it sheds light on the importance of just how much stress can really wreak havoc on your physical.
Yeah.
Even though the stress might be like mental, it really affects you physically in all aspects of your life. So for my particular moment, I think when I got done writing my book, honestly, and I posted this picture on Instagram of before and after. The before was when I got done and my book arrived at my office for me to ship out. And my after picture was after my honeymoon, which was probably 8 months later. I wanted to get in shape for the wedding and the honeymoon or whatnot. But I went in the bathroom and I woke up in the morning, which typically in the morning is when they say to take a good progress picture. You don't have any food in your stomach. You're kind of flat. Not a lot of water or anything. That's like your true form. Well, I woke up in the morning and I looked at myself, dude, it looked like I was bloated so bad on my stomach. I had no outline of visible any abs or anything, which, usually I have at least an outline where I look like I'm in decent shape. I was bloated. I took a side view. It was so terrible, and I lost the majority of my muscle definition. I was skinny, but ironically, my weight stayed the same. It wasn't my weight. I just was putting on body fat, and I just looked terrible, I thought. And so I'm like, you know what? I focused so much on the book that I wasn't eating the right way I should, and I wasn't exercising as hard and as consistently. And at that moment I was like, you know what, now that I got the book published, like, I have to get back in this. I got to practice what I preach. So that's when I looked at myself and was like, I'm not going to let myself ever get to this point again, because I need something that I can sustain for the rest of my life. And that was not where I was at.
Yeah, and both stories here, and just to bring in like that mental and like that change aspect, is like, we both looked in the mirror and we're not happy with what we saw.
Yeah.
And like, if you're not happy, then you got to take action and execute on what you need to do. And that's what we both, ended up doing. But, how many people look at themselves and say, I'm not happy, but yet don't do anything.
Exactly. I was like pissed off and like disgusted with the way I looked. However, that was like the motivation I needed, and that's what separates winners from losers. Is the losers would continue feeling sorry for themselves. Like, I literally made a decision within 1 minute of seeing myself in the mirror of, okay, fuck this, like, this is gonna end. Like, I'm already starting, like, right now, and I like immediately went and made a healthy breakfast, and like, that was that. So that's that for our personal stories on when we realized. The next point is I wanted us to share our daily routines in detail of what a typical day looks like for Brian and I, and which is different because now he has a baby. But from the moment we wake up to when we go to bed, like, are there certain things that we do every day that are habitual and things that we do that help us get through the day, that keep us healthy, not only physically but mentally? So I would say, Brian, walk me through your day as far as like what time you wake up, like what do you have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, what do you do throughout the day, do you get a workout in, what time? Just share that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, pre-baby, I'll just really quick. I mean, I was up 4:30 every morning, 5 a.m. at the gym every single day, pretty much.
And I can contest to that too, because Brian would I'd wake up later and I'd have like 50 text messages from him at like 5 a.m. So I know that he was up at that time.
Yeah, but now things have just changed dramatically. I think 3 months into having a baby, I'm definitely learning how to have a better routine and things. But I would say, wake up, I have either a protein shake or protein bar like in the morning for breakfast. And then lunch is usually, again, like another just healthy meal or shake. Something that I just, it's quick, but I try to do like a shake or something, just keep it light. And then dinner's always we do HelloFresh, which is, pretty healthy stuff. So, and then as workout-wise, we're still, wifey and I still trying to figure that out. But I try to get to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week and just do all the major muscles, back, buys, triceps, legs, chest, abs. I try to do all that. I am starting a very rigorous 12-week program. I met a guy who's going to get me in fight shape. I'm not going to fight. I'm not really, but
watch out, Floyd Mayweather. Conor McGregor.
Conor who? But yeah, that will all change. So I am investing heavily into my new routine, which will hopefully be coming up in the next couple weeks. But that's what I do. I try to eat healthy as much as possible on a daily basis, and I always try to get breakfast, lunch, dinner. I do pound a lot of coffee in the morning, and then at night now I try to go to the gym when we have the opportunity to. Wifey and I switch on and off, and it's been good.
Yeah, and I will say too that I've even noticed a change in Brian's routine now that being married and having a kid. He may not be getting to the office as early as what he used to, but he's still finding a way to get it done. Like the other night we were talking, and it's like we're recording this podcast at 6:30 at night, and we're editing videos from 7 to say 8:30 afterwards. And Brian looked at me the one night and said, look at this. This is what we're doing. I have a kid and a wife at home, a newborn, but I'm still having to get this in, because this is a priority. The business is a priority, but so is spending time with your family, So the balance of that is something that I think is always going to be an adjustment for an entrepreneur. To somehow find a balance with and that's why we named this Work Hard, Play Hard. Is because it is important to have a balance. Are we there yet? Probably not. But it'll always be a work in progress.
And just really quick before you get into your daily routine, because I think it's going to be helpful to hear what you do, because you are a little bit more disciplined than probably most. But the one thing that I'm really working on doing is work-life integration, not work-life balance. How can I integrate my lifestyle and my work together, where family and work it all becomes one at some point. And I think that's really, really important, is you hang out with the people you work with, my wife is invested in what I'm doing, I talk, so that stuff's really, really important. And also on just a work hard, play hard, I'd rather work hard and play hard on a frickin' private jet or a yacht. So I'm not so worried about going to the bar or doing things right now as I am I'd rather work real hard and then play hard in style.
Right. No, I agree totally. I'm on board with that. For me, with my schedule, I'm typically up right now around 6:15 in the morning. I usually have a big cup of coffee. I put people say, well, what do you put in your coffee? I use organic half and half. That's all I put in it. I do the cream, and that's it. Sometimes I have iced coffee that I have in the refrigerator already. Sometimes I do it hot. But my breakfast is actually a bowl of oatmeal, and then I actually take a scoop of whey protein, vanilla, and I cook the oatmeal, and then I put the protein in with the oats in a little bit of water, and I mix it. So I get my carbohydrate and I get my protein. And then that's my breakfast. On my mid-morning snack, usually I have some trail mix, which is just a mixture of nuts, walnuts, almonds, cashews. And then lately my lunch has been a grilled chicken Caesar salad Or a lot of times I'll do Chipotle and I'll get a chicken salad or a chicken bowl at Chipotle. You know, that's you can make Chipotle healthy. My snack in the afternoon again is some more mixed nuts. Dinner, it usually depends. Dude, we love Brussels sprouts. I don't know if I told you that, but we cook a lot of Brussels sprouts, but I douse them in extra virgin olive oil, and then I put sea salt on top of them, and then we bake them in the oven, and they are like to die for. They are so good. And I usually like mix up like a bunch of lean ground beef or turkey, throw in some onion, a bunch of seasonings, and I throw in like a bunch of colorful peppers and whatnot, and that's usually like a dinner for us. Then a lot of times if I'm hungry, like before I go to bed, I may have like a shake or like some string cheese or something like that, maybe even a little bit of Greek yogurt or whatnot. But unlike you, we do not have kids, so usually I go to the gym every day around probably 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we're out of there by 8. We're usually there no longer than like an hour, hour and a half, and I do all my weights. I personally lift like a bodybuilder, so I'm doing like one muscle group per day typically. Like, you know, let's say Monday's chest, Tuesday's back, Wednesday legs, Thursday shoulders, Friday arms. I may take the weekend off. But as far as cardiovascular goes, I do a lot of high intensity interval training, meaning I don't do long distance cardio because I don't have the time for that. So instead of doing like 45 minutes on the treadmill, walking on an incline, a lot of times I keep the treadmill off and I actually do what's called dead mills, where I actually push the treadmill belt myself as hard as I can, like I'm sprinting for 15 seconds. I completely stop, treadmill stops, and I wait 45 seconds. I repeat that 8 to 10 times. I know it's only 2 minutes of actual work because it's 8 intervals of 15 seconds, but it feels like you just ran like 2 hours. You will feel like you're gonna die, but it's very effective at fat loss. So of course, if you know, when the time comes where we decide to have kids, I'll probably be more like, I'll probably be up earlier and up later with less sleep, and we'll probably be going to the gym maybe at a different time like what you guys are, because you have to stagger watching over the kid and whatnot. But that's what my typical day looks like. But you guys have to just find what works for you. If you're an early morning workout person, I'm not. But I say that now, and if I have a kid, I may have to get up and go to the gym at 5 a.m. That's the only time I can get it in. So the point of this is there's no right or wrong time to work out or whatnot. You just have to get it in, get out, and move on with your day.
Yeah, and like make it a priority. Like my wife and I, we really make it a priority.
And that's going into our next point too.
Okay, so let's go into the
which
next
is
point.
fine. No, and I wanted us to give examples of when we had to go above and beyond for special circumstances of making it a priority, and just giving an example of that, of like, you know, what did you have to do when like maybe things were crazy and you guys had to find a formula on how to make the health and the workouts and the eating a priority.
Yeah, I mean, both Teresa and I, my wife, we make it a priority. I mean, because we know that individually, like individual happiness comes from, like, I need to work out, I need to like release that stress, and I think she does too. So what we do is right now is like I'll get home, maybe I'll get home a little earlier, or even if I get home like same time, like she'll go to the gym, she comes home, I go to the gym. And I've actually thrown in some home workouts at this point because I'm like, okay, I have a speed bag in my house. I'll just box. I'll even go do jump rope and push-ups in the driveway. You know, like I'll just try to get it in wherever I can. But it is a priority. It needs to be a priority. And I mean, if you work out now, like later in life, you're going to be thanking yourself so much. Yeah. So sometimes it just takes a little sacrifice. But yeah, I mean, you know, is there a time where you have to go above and beyond? Yeah, absolutely. But make it a priority. I mean, make your health a priority. I think too many people forget that, and I know I did, and I was not happy, like, and it was not good for me. So make getting healthy and working out, at least get your heart going almost every day if you can, at least a few times a week. Make it a priority. It's important.
And those little home workouts too, I've done those myself. You know, breaking a sweat for 10 to 15 minutes, if that's all you have, you guys remember that is better than doing nothing at all. Yeah. Even though like you don't feel like you just crushed it, because maybe you go to the gym and crush it for an hour straight, trust me, you know, like 15-20 minutes you could do a full body workout utilizing only your body weight. You know, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, lunges, jump squats, planks. I mean, there's so many, you know, pull-ups off of a tree. a thick tree limb. Like there's a lot of different things that you can do. Step ups onto a park bench, tricep dips off of a chair or a couch or something. Like that goes a long way. You know, those little victories add up to bigger victories. For me personally, my example of going above and beyond is right now Lindsay's going back to school to be a physician assistant. So she works all day and then she has to go to the gym. She has some personal training clients and then she has to study and do homework for the rest of the night, sometimes until like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going above and beyond to do all the little things of like, you know, laundry, and like I try to get to the gym before her. I go out of my way and I try to get done before her so I can go home and make sure that I'm cooking dinner so that when she gets home, dinner's ready for her, she can eat, and then she can go into her studying and whatnot. Of course, we don't have kids or anything right now, but that's my example of like her and I are kind of staggering things right now to make sure we're both getting in the gym, but we're both, you know, still staying on track as far as our healthy eating. So I'll go home and I'll try to cook up things so she can eat when she comes home and then get right into her schoolwork.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. Because I want to support her on her goals too. I don't want her to like be feeling like shit and be, you know, of course she's tired from long work hours and studying so much, but I'm trying to minimize any type of distractions and things like that she shouldn't have to do so that she can focus on her goal, because she does support me on my goals.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like I'm here doing this podcast with you right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, there you go. She's supporting that. So, so going into our next point, I have down some tips and strategies on making it easier and balanced overall. I just jotted this down. I mean, we kind of already talked about some of this stuff already as far as our tips and strategies, but...
I mean, go listen to our communication episode if you want to know the balance and things, because communication in like your relationship and communication with anybody in your work or whatever, like, is so important. So just understanding like Mike does, like understands, like Lindsay says, I want to work out, but I also have school. So Mike says, okay, like I will help with cooking, I'll help with some of the stuff at home to make your life a little bit easier, and you guys just compromise and have conversations about it. But it's all about that communication if you really want to, you know, crush it in that. But, you know, Therese and I are 100% on board of like how important personal happiness is to each person in the relationship, because if I'm happier and I'm working out, I'm going to be able to give 100% more, and I'm going to be a lot better of a dad and a lot better of a husband if I'm happy. So that's my philosophy. I mean, I know everybody's different, so.
Well, and Lindsay and I are the same way. Like our outlet both is going to the gym, breaking a good sweat. That brings us back to our equilibrium. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm getting better at the communication, and I'm working on that personally. But I would say that you hit the nail on the head with this as far as communication goes, that if you're in a relationship of any kind, like truly you cannot over communicate if you both have really busy lives, because things can kind of get lost in translation. I think that, like, you know, just being on the same page as far as the communication factor goes will help you maintain the balance. Like, oh, I'm going to the gym at this time so that I can do this, and then the other person knows exactly what you're doing, and you can stagger things so that there is an overall balance. So I think you hit the nail on the head with that. One thing that I wanted to go into here towards the end is I have a thing called my top 10 commandments, okay? And actually I have 18 on here that I wanted to discuss, but I'll probably choose like 10, and Brian can put his little spin on some of this stuff too. But these are the things that I believe are the most important no matter what your goal is. I don't care what you want to do, just we're talking overall health and wellness, and we're talking balance. You know, like longevity, like being very holistic in your approach to health and wellness. So number one is, and this goes back to what Brian said, is just sometimes he has to get a workout in really quickly at home, is number one is aim for physical activity, 20 to 60 minutes of resistance training and or cardiovascular 5 days a week. You know, I think that's very important that a body in motion stays in motion, and I have that down in here too, that I'm a momentum type of person. So I find that like I'm go, that when I stop, like I come to a screeching halt. So I like to, if I'm doing good during the week and I'm getting my workouts in and whatnot, even if it's for 15, 20 minutes, I like to keep that going. You know, a lot of people are weekend warriors, and that's okay if the only time you can get a workout in possibly is on the weekend. But a great example is Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah. You know, he gets up, he made it a priority to focus on his health, and now he has a trainer, and he's up at like, you know, 5 a.m. in the morning, like getting it in with his trainer real quick before he starts his day. You know, which is what you were doing now, but things have kind of changed with your schedule.
But it's yeah, that's it really is so important to find some time. Like, dude, you got to give yourself 10 to 15 minutes a day. Just try to do a little something. I know sometimes you can't, but don't lose momentum if you miss. Like there was time where I didn't work out a whole week, and that drove me crazy. But I didn't allow that to let me lose momentum on things. I wasn't like, oh well, I guess I'll chill out this week now because I didn't work out last week. I kept on myself to get back in there and keep it going. Like, don't lose momentum because you miss a day or 2 days. It doesn't matter. You just got to get back on the horse and get it going.
Right. Commandment number 2, drink a lot of water throughout the day. A lot of people wonder how much can you drink too much water? Yes, you can, but you'll hardly ever get to that point. It's almost impossible for most people. I try to drink at least a gallon of water a day. I have a blender bottle sitting in front of me for those that can't see it that are listening, but if you're watching, these blender bottles are awesome. I probably drink I bet you at least 6 to 8 of these a day, filled up, refilling on water. If you want to throw something in, lime, lemon, whatever to flavor it, go ahead. Commandment number 3, eat smaller mini meals throughout the day. The only reason I say this is because people think that eating mini meals speeds up your metabolism. That is false. You are not speeding up your metabolism by eating tons of mini meals throughout the day. That is a myth. People keep talking about that. There's no research. What eating mini meals does is, one, it helps you balance out your food a little bit better. You space it out throughout the day. It starves off those intense hunger pains. Like if you ate breakfast at 6 a.m. and you didn't eat lunch till 1 p.m., well, you're probably going to get those hunger pains. So throwing a little snack in there usually helps keep those away, and it'll help balance your blood sugar. But I think the point for this commandment is you need to eat when you can. The research shows that it doesn't matter if you put 1,200 calories into 3 meals or 1,200 calories spread out through 5 mini meals. At the end of the day, it's, did you eat your 1,200 calories? Those are your macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs. So, but the thing is, though, is obviously with a busy schedule, it's hard to, it's like right now I'm eating probably 4 times a day, 4 big meals, and I throw 2 snacks in there a day. I mean, how many times did you say you're eating?
Probably 3 times a day, but sometimes I'll throw 4 in because I will eat a protein bar, something either mid-morning sometimes, I get a little bit hungry, or even mid-afternoon. It also helps with my energy me too. Because I went down that road where I was eating one meal, I wouldn't eat breakfast and I'd be starving by lunch.
Yeah, you're famished. Exactly, and you overeat. And
then you sit there and you're like, dude, I can't even work the rest of the day.
Exactly.
So I like the mini meal, trying to space, eat a little more times. Personally, that works for me. It may not work for everybody, but that works for me because it does just keep me going, keep me energized, keeps me fueled without feeling too full. I hate that feeling, especially midday.
That Brian's example further proves why I think the mini meal thing works for most people, because it keeps you from getting so famished to the point where you go to eat your next meal and then you overeat, you binge, and then you feel like shit afterwards because you're in a carbohydrate coma and you're shot the rest of the day. So I think that trying to do the mini meals is a little bit more realistic, and I think that physically I feel better. I know you do, so give that a try. Aim to work each muscle group at least once a week with resistance training. The thing that drives me nuts is a lot of people out there are what I like to call cardio queens. You see the same people doing cardio. That's fine, but you're not building any muscle. And when you're not building muscle, muscle is very metabolic, so the more muscle you have, the more you have the ability to burn fat. Because if you took muscular Brian and you put him next to non-muscular Brian that doesn't lift weights, and you put both of them in front of a TV, right? Muscular Brian watching TV would burn way more calories than non-muscular Brian watching TV, simply for the fact that you have more muscle. Because muscle's metabolic. It increases your metabolism. So, if there's a lot of ladies listening to this, I encourage you, lift weights. Put on as much muscle as you possibly can, because you're going to not only look and feel better, but you're going to have a faster metabolism. So try to hit every major muscle group at least once a week.
I used to be a cardio queen, believe it or not.
And guys do it too.
Yeah,
you're right.
I thought, oh my gosh, like if I run a lot, I'll be losing weight, my metabolism, blah blah. So then I tore my MCL in a soccer game. I went to physical training, and I was almost kind of like depressed a little bit, because I was like, oh man, like, I can't run, blah blah. And the physical trainer said, don't worry about it. You're actually better off lifting weights. You're gonna burn more fat. Like it's
right.
just better for you to be lifting. It's better, like almost better cardio if you're lifting and all that stuff. So I didn't realize that, though. I always thought, oh, I gotta run, I have to run,
Right.
like. But no, I mean, lifting is so much better.
And a good example is look at the physique of an Olympic sprinter and look at the physique of an Olympic marathon runner. Okay, the marathon runner is kind of skinnier, doesn't have much muscle. Olympic sprinters pump iron.
Dude,
look it up on YouTube of a weight
Beast.
training routine of an Olympic sprinter, and that's why they look so lean, they look muscular, they look powerful, because they're not only doing the high intensity interval training for cardio, but they're pumping the iron too. So I'm going to move through these next ones a couple quickly, because we do need to get into the health tip, and the challenge is do as much pulling movements as pushing movements. So if you're in the gym and you're always pushing, you're always doing chest press, that's what guys want to do. They want to do chest press. Well, you need to do rows too. You need to balance the body out symmetrically, so that you're not like hunchback and your chest is very tight because you're always working your chest. You want to open that up. So for every push, I say do a pull. Okay. Scheduled days off for rest and recovery. Of course, we need to get in the gym and we need to bust our ass, but as important as it is to get in the gym, I have my rest days. So I take 2 days off a week that I don't do anything. Podcast night, podcast night, I don't go to the gym, and then I'll take a weekend day off. So I'm doing something physically active 5 days a week, and I have my 2 days of rest time, because it's important for that. The quality of your workouts count more than the quantity of them, so make them count. And this is very important for the entrepreneur. Like Brian had mentioned, I'm getting in the gym, I'm trying to get in there 4 to 5 days a week,
Yeah.
you said. He may not be getting in there as much as he wants, but when he is getting in there, he's making them count. So the quality counts. I'd rather see Brian get in the gym 2 to 3 days a week, and they are fantastic, focused workouts, than 4 to 5 days a week, and he's half-assing it and going through the motions, and he's not really putting forth the intensity that's required for physical change.
I'm still sore from last week.
So that's good. Yeah.
But you're right, because I mean, when I know I'm in there, I have got to be very, very focused and do everything properly, and not just half-assed, because I'm like, oh, quick workout. Like I want to lift as much as possible, trying to still build my game and everything. But yeah, I'm actually still sore from last week, which is sad.
So if you see Brian in the gym and he's got his headphones on, and he looks like real ferocious and serious, he's not being antisocial. He's a soft puppy dog on the inside. He just wants some physical positive change. So leave him alone when you see him in the gym, because he has a kid at home and he has no time to mess around in the gym.
No dad bod.
We'll finish up here on these. Muscles take about 48 to 72 hours to fully recover from resistance training, so train accordingly. Prime example, let's say you go into the gym and you lift legs and you're doing squats. It would not make sense to go back into the gym the very next day and do squats again. You just physically broke down the muscle fibers in your legs. They have not recovered yet. Wait at least a day to do those leg muscles again. So I usually put 3 days of rest in between each muscle group before I do the same one again, because again, you're going in the gym, you're breaking your muscles down. When you leave, that's when the recovery process starts and your muscles start to build back up again. So it takes about 48 to 72 hours. So sometimes longer, which is called delayed onset muscle soreness, which is what Brian has in his triceps and his arms right now, which means, he really pushed himself hard and the muscles are taking a little bit longer to recover. That's pretty much it, I think, for my top 10. The last one I would say is avoid the healthy halo, where you end up eating more calories because you eat more quantity, because apparently it's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so not all calories are created equal, but if you are eating, you can still eat too much of healthy food because they are calories, and then you're spilling over on your caloric requirements for the day. which, you know, extra calories leads to extra weight gain. So a lot of people think that Subway's healthy, so they go and have a foot-long sub and chips in a diet soda, and then they're in the what I call the healthy halo. I eat healthy, I eat Subway, eat fresh. More like eat death. But anyways, you're spilling over on your calories. Like, too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just be aware that even when it's healthy, like nut butters are very healthy. Well, if you polish off a whole jar of peanut butter in one sitting, that's a lot of calories. You know, so just be aware of that. All right, those are my top 10 commandments. I hope you guys really took something out of this episode. We really want to just give you guys an idea of what our schedules look like on a daily basis, because we do have kind of different lifestyles that we're living right now. So what do you think about the challenge? Do you have anything else to add to any of this?
No, I don't. I mean, this episode was a little bit different than most of ours, but I think it was so informative. I think there's a lot to take away from this. I mean, if you've been wanting to get healthy, if you've been wanting to make a change, like, this is the best episode for that. Like, Mike is literally like, he is a certified health and wellness guy. He runs an online entrepreneurial venture. He, wrote a book on this. I mean, this advice, like, costs a lot of money usually. I mean, this is why I'm just so, like, he's giving this to the audience for free. Like, how about this? If you subscribe to our newsletter, Mike will let's throw in something for him.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I thought about this as we were going over this. I thought, for people that are subscribed to our email newsletter, what I might do is, and what I'll probably do for a future newsletter is, I'm going to toss in there, I'll toss in there like a little easy healthy eating plan for free of what your day could look like. And I'll also put in there a little 10 to 15 minute workout that you can do at home with minimal to no equipment whatsoever, so that you have no excuses to make exercise and healthy eating a priority. So if you sign up for our newsletter on our website, it's for free. You get it once a week. In one of the upcoming newsletters, you have my promise that I'm going to throw something in there for both the eating and the exercising, okay? You have my word.
No, I love that, man. And you know, the other thing about this episode that I really love is, like, this is something really near and dear to Mike and I's heart, like, and I really do take this very seriously, because a friend of mine, their parents just passed away at a very young age, and if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to be leaving behind, a lot. It's not cool, and you need to take care of your health. You need to take care of your body. You need to take care of yourself mentally and physically, And Mike and I take it very, very seriously. I mean, we really do put a really high priority on this, and we want you guys to do that too. So the challenge is, this week, I want you guys to do something between, and Mike has it here, but between like 10 to 15 minutes a day. I mean, is that pretty good, or 20?
It's a start.
I would do 10 to 20 minutes a day. Try to do something. Get your heart rate up. Try to do it every day, but I would just, if you can go for a fast walk, do something. Just get yourself ready to go. I just want you to, that's the challenge, is just to try to do something for yourself and for everybody else physically. I think that's very, very important.
Yes, I agree 100%. Okay, and then I'm going to read a health tip out of my book. I'm on the wrong page here. Okay, here we are. So this is important right here, and we'll wrap it up here. So fat loss happens in a circular fashion, okay? So let's say Brian was standing up, and I drew a circle around your body, okay? And you were standing up against a wall. As you lose fat and weight, the body shrinks, but it shrinks towards the center. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the circle just gets smaller. So imagine a circle. The circle just gets smaller. It shrinks in. So this means as we lose weight and body fat, our body shrinks from the outside in. Visually, if you were to draw a circle around your body, the middle portion is always going to be the biggest, right? And that's common sense. So this is the reason as we lose fat and weight, we always tend to carry that last little bit of body fat around our stomachs. It will eventually go away with patience and hard work, but we cannot spot reduce that due to the natural sequence of burning body fat as mentioned above. So just think about it. As you continue to shrink, your body gets smaller all the way around, but your stomach's still kind of holding majority of the body fat, which is where we tend to hold that. So that will go away, but it takes a lot of hard work and patience over the course of time. And then the quote at the bottom by Thomas Carlyle says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything."
I love it, man. Hey, take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. We want you to be successful, and being healthy is part of being successful. So get healthy. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Do it for your friends, because we want you alive long enough to reap all the great things that are going to be coming to you in your lives. So thank you all for subscribing, rating, reviewing. Please share, comment, like. Let us know what your health daily routines are like. We would love to hear some of what you guys are doing to help us too, because we're lifelong learners along with you guys. So come swim with us. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much. We love you, and we will see you all on the next episode.